Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying, but what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing camping encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. Let's delve straight into this first disturbing encounter. In 2021, an anonymous TikTok account uploaded a short video revealing something far more disturbing than it first appeared. It opens with a simple view of a house, but if you listen closely, the sounds in the background tell a much darker story. The person recording the video can clearly hear eerie screams echoing from the woods near their home. As they follow the unsettling sounds toward the main road, the cries grow louder, more chilling with every step, until something far more sinister. At that moment, the person mustered the courage to venture deeper into the woods, drawn toward the source of the haunting screams. But the closer he got, the more horrifying the scene became, until he saw something so disturbing, it made him question whether he should have ever followed the sounds at all. There were eyes, glowing in the darkness, piercing through the shadows like twin embers. It felt as if some unseen creature was staring straight into his soul, watching his every move with an otherworldly intensity. The video abruptly ended there, leaving nothing but silence in its wake. The questions linger. What could have been behind those terrifying noises? What truly happened to the person filming? Did they even make it out of the forest alive? The mystery may never be solved. Still reeling from that moment? Hold on tight. Things are only getting darker. Picture this: a chilling encounter deep in the heart of a shadowy forest, where every rustle and whisper feels like a warning. In July 2021, an anonymous TikTok user uploaded a brief video titled "Horror Encounter." The video captured a couple chopping wood together in the middle of a forest when something terrifying suddenly happened.
Go!
They suddenly heard strange, unsettling noises in the air. Instinctively, they ran toward a nearby shelter in an attempt to escape the sounds. The experience was terrifying. It felt as though some unknown creatures were chasing them, ready to attack at any moment. Even after reaching the shelter, the horror didn't stop. Something continued to slam against the walls, making the situation even more disturbing. The couple never managed to escape. The video abruptly ends at that moment, leaving what happened next completely unknown. The lingering question remains: who or what were those creatures, and were they even real? Given that this was a random TikTok posted by an anonymous user, it's hard not to wonder if the video was created purely for views. There's little to no information available about the clip or the account that uploaded it, leaving the origin of the footage and the truth behind what it shows a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Spending a night alone in a dense, unfamiliar plantation can conjure all sorts of fears. But what happens when the things you fear most seem to be lurking just out of sight? Meet the creator behind the YouTube channel ManDog Wild. Through his videos, he immerses viewers in raw, unfiltered outdoor experiences, often pushing the boundaries of comfort and solitude. From wild camping in remote locations to showcasing survival skills, his adventures highlight both the beauty and the inherent risks of the wild. With a candid approach, he shares his genuine reactions, but one particular solo trip would test his nerve in unexpected ways. The adventure began as he decided to spend 24 hours alone within a sprawling banana plantation, a place he noted was perfect for snakes and spiders.
Welcome to another adventure 24 hours within this banana plantation.
His usual canine companions were left behind for their own safety, given the environment and his concern about potential encounters with venomous creatures, particularly the notorious banana spiders.
Solo, no dogs, for a couple of reasons. Well, one reason, two fears: snakes and spiders. And Yeti being the definition of zoomies, combined with her obsession for hunting, is far more likely to encounter something meaner than her.
He acknowledged the increased risk of encountering evil simply by being there. After finding a reasonably flat area, he decided it would do, planning to set up his shelter closer to nightfall to maintain a low profile. As dusk approached, he returned to set up his unique shelter, a hammock laid on the ground, enclosed by its bug net. He prepared for the night, but as he was about to make coffee, an unnerving sound broke the silence, something walking around in the plantation.
I'm just fixing to make a coffee right now, and I keep hearing stuff, walking around.
He initially considered it might be the wind rustling the many dry leaves, but the sound persisted, seeming more like deliberate steps on the dead foliage.
I think that's what it is anyway. It's easy to hear. I mean, it could be the wind. The wind picked up a little bit whenever it moves. It's easy to hear. But I don't think it sounds like that. It sounds like something stepping on the kind of...
The unseen presence began to give him the creeps.
Can't see. It's just staying out of sight.
The mysterious noises continued, eventually sounding as if whatever was out there was circling his campsite.
I hear that noise again. I hear something walking around again. Sounds like it's circling us.
Unable to ignore the growing unease, he decided he had to investigate, venturing out of his shelter to scan the dark surroundings.
I'm gonna take a little walk around because it's gonna drive me mad if I stay in this.
His brief patrol revealed nothing, but the moment he lay back down, the sounds resumed, making him increasingly uneasy despite being in his shelter.
I couldn't see anything. I had a little walk around, couldn't see nothing. As soon as I lay down again, I start hearing it again.
Just as he was on the verge of drifting off to sleep, his shelter suddenly collapsed right onto his face.
So my shelter's just come down straight on. I was just about to drift off.
And then, the source of the night's disturbances was revealed. It was his dog, Lucky, who had somehow managed to find him deep within the banana plantation.
You... Lucky, huh? So somehow, Blacky's found me deep in his banana plantation.
The creator realized that all the unsettling movement and sounds throughout the night had been his adventurous canine companion.
That explains the movement.
Though initially startled, a wave of relief washed over him. The fear of an unknown threat was replaced by the familiar comfort of his dog.
Okay, now I feel a little bit better now, actually, that I'm not alone with some you know, with something walking around, and it was just Blackie. So, whew.
They shared the hammock for the rest of the night, the mystery of the unsettling sounds now amusingly solved. The next morning, he reflected that the true terrors of the plantation weren't the spiders or snakes, but the numerous ticks he'd had to remove.
One of my friends, the most terrifying thing out here, to me, it's not the snakes or the spiders. It's not even the mosquitoes. It's the ticks. Because since beginning filming this video, I've had to remove about 6-7 ticks from.
While the unknown can be terrifying, sometimes the explanation is far more mundane, or in this case, much furrier, than our imaginations lead us to believe. The creator's night of suspense ended not with a sinister encounter, but with a reunion with his loyal friend. It serves as a reminder that even in the creepiest of settings, not every bump in the night is a monster. The following events will make you question what truly lurks in the shadows when an explorer moves into the heart of a forest known for its dark legends, where an unexpected discovery leads to a night of mounting terror. A few years ago, a YouTube channel run by Avery posted a chilling video, marking the channel's first distinct upload, with very few videos posted prior. The footage begins with Avery walking through the dense woods of an island in Costa Rica, describing the strange noises she has been hearing.
What the fuck is this noise? Listen. That is not an angry dog. What the fuck is that? It's been making that angry noise for an hour now, and it just gets closer and closer. It's coming from right over there. That's the way you gotta walk to the beach. And I was gonna take a nice walk over there this morning to the beach. I'm not going over there now. Because what the fuck is that? It's fucking terrifying. Whatever can make that noise can probably rip my fucking face off. But it's been making that noise. Oh my god. What is that?
Suddenly, Avery ventures deeper into the woods, only to find the sounds growing louder and more terrifying. She begins to feel as though whatever is producing those noises could be a threat to her. Though visibly shaken, Avery pushes past her fear, but just as the tension peaks, the video cuts off abruptly, leaving the encounter unsettlingly unresolved. To this day, no one knows what happened to Avery after the video ended. Whether she and her dog made it out safely remains a mystery. These unanswered questions persist, and perhaps some mysteries are best left unsolved. How unsettling it would be to witness a dream property unravel. What if it were to transform into a potential crime scene? Meet Coin and Victoria, the creators behind the YouTube channel Wiggins Wild World. Life off-grid. Through their videos, they document their journey of developing a raw piece of land, sharing the challenges and triumphs of an off-grid lifestyle. From exploring their new property to planning their build, they invite viewers to join their adventure. But one day, what began as a routine survey of their land would unearth a series of deeply unsettling items, transforming their excitement into a chilling concern. The day started like any other on their new 20-acre parcel in the Sonoran Desert, with Coin and Victoria out on the property trying to find a corner marking for the first 5-acre parcel they planned to develop. They were navigating by sight, using trees and landscape features as reference points to establish their lines.
We're out here today on the property trying to find the last corner marking of the, and we're doing it by sight because it's kind of fun getting to not hide and seek, but kind of hunt for something. a tree with something behind it out here to figure out our straight line. And we just realized a tree is gonna block our view. So now we're gonna have to use this tree, this new tree, as our reference point.
The vast, untouched nature of the land was part of its appeal, a blank canvas for their off-grid dreams. As they explored, they stumbled upon an unusual plant, which they later identified as a coyote melon.
Where is it? A locust, actually. It looks like fucking huge.
What is this?
Not to be a well-actually guy. A post-production coin here. We found out these are actually called coyote melons, or coyote gourds. Their fruits are bright yellow like you see in the video. They can be dark green with white stripes. It says the rind is hard and thins with age. With a very bitter flavor, the fruits are inedible, though Native Americans use them for soap and also ground seeds to use as food.
In a moment of lightheartedness, they even left a piece of the fruit for a local insect, a small interaction with the native wildlife. This innocent encounter, however, would soon be overshadowed by far more troubling discoveries that began to surface. Their unease began subtly, with the discovery of 2 pesos in the wash, an odd find on land that had supposedly never been inhabited.
We found, first we found a couple pesos and we were like, that's cute, washed away from Mexico.
Like, I was just walking, I kept finding stones, and then all of a sudden I looked down and I thought it was an Apple AirTag, and it was
2 pesos.
But the discoveries soon took a more disturbing turn. They found a child-sized puma backpack, which appeared to have been deliberately cut, and a small child's shoe.
Found a little kid's
Start over.
Okay.
I just pressed play, sorry.
It's okay. So we just found a little kid's backpack, like a kid-sized backpack, which wouldn't like be too alarming or anything, but it's like in the wash. And a little while ago, just randomly walking through here, we found 2 pesos, like 2 peso coins, and we found a little kid's shoe. Yeah, and we happened to come across some weird stuff. Like we found a little kid's shoe. It looks like it's at least like a couple years old. Found a Puma,
small backpack, like
it's like a little kid's backpack, and it's been like cut through, and it was weird because like you could tell it had been cut, like
on the front pocket.
The way it like deteriorated, that didn't match. It like was cut.
The combination of items, money, a child's shoe, and a damaged backpack, in such a remote, undeveloped location, began to paint a grim picture, especially considering their proximity to the border. The most alarming discovery was yet to come. Near a pack rat nest, Coin found a bone.
I'll take a video. But, and then he found a bone on it, and I'll have to take a picture of that bone, and I'll show you the bone.
So it would be different if it was just the shoe. But we found a little kid's shoe, we found a little kid's backpack, and we found this bone under that tree.
Later, they found more bones, some of which looked like they could belong to a deer, but one piece, in particular, was unsettlingly clean-cut, not a natural break.
Oh, how do I make this big? Coin just saw these bones right here.
More bones, and not when we were looking either. Like, oh, yeah, it doesn't look like a.
Doesn't that look like a really clean cut there?
Shit, yeah, it does. You can see that's like a socket, right? It's a ball, a socket. So that would be like a back leg, like a foot. Looks like a deer or a coyote, maybe. This is cut.
That is weird. Stay.
Coin described a heavy feeling in the area even before finding the first bone, a sense that something was off, adding to the ominous atmosphere surrounding their finds. The series of discoveries, pesos, a child's shoe, a cut child's backpack, and bones, one of which was suspiciously cut, led them to a deeply unsettling conclusion. These might not be random, innocent items lost to the elements. The possibility that they had stumbled upon evidence of something tragic, perhaps connected to someone attempting to cross the border, weighed heavily on them. Realizing the potential gravity of their findings, Coin and Victoria decided they couldn't ignore what they had found. They made the call to the non-emergency sheriff's line to report the bones and other items.
We're just recording this because we called a non-emergency line about the bones and everything we found earlier.
Arrangements were made for a deputy sheriff to meet them at the property to investigate the disturbing discoveries, turning their land development project into a potential crime scene investigation.
And now we're gonna go meet a deputy sheriff out at the property to show him the bones we picked up.
Took a huge dab and drank half a beer, and now I gotta go walk a deputy sheriff through our fucking property out in the middle of nowhere to find some fucking possible human remains.
That's what.
Although they took the responsible step of contacting the authorities, the unsettling questions lingered. What tragic story did these scattered items tell? Were the bones animal, or more horrifyingly, human? And what events had transpired on this remote piece of land before they arrived? The excitement of their new property was now tinged with a somber mystery, a reminder that the wilderness can hold secrets far darker than one might imagine. The investigation would hopefully bring answers, but the initial thrill of their off-grid adventure had taken a chilling and unforgettable turn. Were these 5 encounters unsettling enough for you? If so, brace yourself. What's coming next will have you second-guessing every shadow, every sound. Trust me, this one will leave you terrified. Meet Ben, the creator behind the YouTube channel 401 Files. Through his videos, Ben takes viewers on solo adventures into remote and often eerie locations, seeking evidence of the unexplained, from cryptids to UFOs. His candid documentation of his experiences, complete with his genuine reactions to the unsettling atmosphere, keeps his audience hooked. But one particular exploration would test his courage like never before. The day began with Ben heading into a forest known for its unsettling history, including tales of a creature referred to as the Dogman.
The woods who encounter this beast during their time there. And then over the years, it's a lot of times people who are, again, alone, either on an isolated road or in the woods. Their encounters are very similar, though. They do talk about this beast coming out of the woods. It is very agile. It jumps in front of their car or in front of them. It scratches at their houses or their tents. So the encounters as...
He noted the ominous sign as his phone switched to SOS mode, highlighting the remoteness of his chosen location.
So the phone has just turned into SOS mode, which basically means that the network provider has realized that I'm in a location that is quite remote and the signal here is very limited, if there's any signal at all. So it's always very telling when the phone does that, because it hits home that bit more about where you are. And when you're driving through this forest drive like this, with nothing but trees at either side of you, for as far as the eye can see.
The weather itself seemed to mirror the unsettling mood, shifting from potentially pleasant to something out of a horror film, as Ben prepared to set up camp and spend the night. His plan was to use his EMF reader, hoping to capture any unusual activity in an area already rife with stories, including a previous Dogman sighting involving a mountain biker.
The woods, the plan for tonight is to get the tarp set up, get laid under the tarp, and spend the night here listening out. I've brought the EMF reader with me. I know that a lot of you like to see me out in these locations using that EMF reader. So that's out with me tonight, and hopefully we can get a specific location that I'm heading towards right now. I'm just trying to make my way to a location that I've been before. This is where we spoke about the Dogman sighting. If you go back to my videos, there was a very interesting case that came from here regarding a mountain bike rider building a trail that cut through the woods. And while staying over late one night, he was pretty much harassed and then eventually chased out of the woods by something on 2 feet.
As Ben ventured deeper, he shared his conviction that other life forms exist, a belief rooted in first-hand experiences. His dog, Lily, seemed to pick up on something unusual, attempting to mask her scent, adding a layer of unease to the trek.
She's picked up on some kind of a scent. She's trying to mask her own smell with whatever that is on the floor.
Later, a peculiar discovery was made. Another balloon, similar to one found on a previous expedition, prompting Ben to recall a viewer's comment about its potential significance.
What is that in the tree? Can you believe this? It's another balloon. It's another party balloon. What is the chances of me finding this? That's 2 videos in the middle of nowhere in 2 balloons. Somebody actually left a comment on the last video regarding the balloon, saying that there's some kind of significance to that and that it's been documented in other documentaries. So if you was the person that left me that comment...
Ben's journey led him to contemplate the nature of cryptids and their possible origins, touching upon the debate about creatures like Bigfoot in the UK and the concept of interdimensional beings. His attention was then captured by a series of snapped trees.
So this is something that I've really been showing an interest in lately. I've not spoke to you guys about this, but it's been secretly there in the back of my mind, and I think I might be onto something. You remember a few videos back when, a few days ago, I saw a YouTube video of another guy that gets out hunting for cryptids, and he found exactly the same scenario.
So we're out on a scout today, out in the woods, undisclosed location for safety reasons. And here's things that always make you like scratch your head. Like, how does that get broken along with that one right there and that one down there and that one there? We don't get a lot of snow up here where we're at. The winds do get a little crazy, but all 3 of these...
This discovery fueled his curiosity about the strange occurrences in these woods. The search for a suitable campsite led him to an old logging route.
That was quite hard going. Been walking for about 15-20 minutes now, but the footing all the way through that woods was not solid, so been falling all over and stumbling. Takes it out of you. As you can see behind me now, the sun is going down and it's turning into what is a beautiful night. There's a bit of blue sky appearing through the clouds above me, and the wind isn't too bad either, so all in all it's set to be a really good night. I'm still trying to find somewhere to set up the tarp with a bit of even ground so I can sit down and talk to you guys as we absorb the night. But what I'm thinking now is that maybe I should just find like an old logging route and sit on the track. You know, a route that's not been used for a while, like this one behind me.
But the exploration took a bizarre turn when he stumbled upon what initially looked like a scene from Harry and the Hendersons.
In the Harry and the Hendersons is this.
Only to realize he had found something far more extensive and unsettling. An abandoned paintball or activity arena deep within the woods.
It goes right back off into the distance. I'm going to check this out a bit more. I hope there's no one around because there's a few buildings here. So I hope there's nobody going to jump out and be like, "What are you doing?" Because that will really scare me. Looks like some kind of a paintballing arena. I didn't know that Dalby had a paintballing arena. Fuck.
The structures looked eerily out of place, and Ben hoped he wouldn't encounter anyone.
I'm going to head over there in a minute. That's freaky. I hope there's no one in those buildings.
The discovery of this abandoned site, themed around aliens vs. Predator, became increasingly unnerving.
Is that Predator? Not Predator. Alien. Like out of the franchise movies, Aliens. It really is. That's so cool. And there is Predator.
Ben noted the complete lack of paintball splatters or pellets, despite the presence of masks and equipment, suggesting the area was either never truly used or abandoned in a hurry.
Oh, cool. Paintballing masks. But the weird thing is it can't be paintballing because there's no paintball splatters anywhere. Like, I've not seen one burst paintball. Like, usually when you go to a paintballing place, there is paint. I mean, look at the masks. They're pretty much clean. I mean, there is that splat on top, but I think that's been purposely put there to show what team this person's on. I mean, look at the ground. There's no pellets or burst paintballs, which is usually what you see. It just looks like it's been abandoned. Why would they leave all this stuff lying around? Second thing, not one burst paintball. Look at the floor. Look how clean this is. This is the heart of what would have been a combat site. You can imagine everyone hiding behind the tyres, in the towers, unleashing hell, but there's not one burst paintball or one airsoft pellet. So
The cleanliness of the supposed combat zone was particularly striking, with towers and fences almost entirely free of paint.
And it just looks like people have upped and left at the drop of a hat with no one around. No evidence that a game ever existed. I mean, look at this tower. Not one splat of paint on there. Not one. I don't know, look how clean that is. Guys that have been paintballing, you'll know what I'm saying. When you go to places like this, it's caked in splat marks. This fence is completely clean. There's maybe there's two rounds that have been fired at this whole entire fence. 3, if we include that one there. Now 3 rounds in the whole of this area.
Adding to the mystery, there were no CCTV cameras in sight, which seemed odd for such a facility.
Not one CCTV camera. Not one. Not even on the hut that was... Before I pressed stop by accident on the video, is that not one CCTV camera. Not one. Not even on the huts that, you know, looked like people would gather to pay and use this facility. Nothing.
A fleeting glimpse of a dark shape in the shadows momentarily terrified Ben, resembling a figure standing still.
Whew, that scared me. Let me just zoom into this so you guys can see what I've just seen. I'm guessing it's some kind of a tree with the shape of shoulders and a head, but when you're walking pretty fast, it caught me off guard. That just looked like a guy standing in the shadows. Do you not think? Like the head?
But the most shocking discovery was yet to come. A tree absolutely covered in game cameras. A sight that left him speechless and deeply unsettled.
Generically, just... What the hell? Is that a tree full of game cameras? And I'm talking like a tree full of game cameras. Can anyone make sense of that?
Despite the overwhelming creepiness, Ben made the decision to stay the night in one of the abandoned huts within this bizarre arena, his fear palpable.
So this is going to be home for the night. One of these. I've decided I think I'm going to stay here rather than set the tarp up. I cannot express to you how creepy this place is. I don't know if it's doing it justice on the video, but I'm absolutely terrified right now. You know, this isn't just like some kind of local attraction with a built-up urban area just in the background. This is in the heart of a woods that's notorious, and I mean notorious, for really, really strange and unexplained reports.
He confessed to being genuinely terrified, emphasizing the notorious reputation of the surrounding forest for strange and unexplained reports. As night deepened, Ben's fear escalated. The wind picked up, and the isolation, surrounded by creepy huts in an abandoned themed arena, took its toll.
I don't think I've been this scared for a very long time. You know, this isn't my usual stomping ground. The wind's picking up as well. Can you guys hear that? Add to that, I'm surrounded by these creepy looking huts. You know, it's definitely got some kind of cabin in the woods feel.
He spoke about the Glimmerman phenomenon, a cryptid known for its camouflage abilities, a thought that only amplified his anxiety in the eerie setting.
I really hope not. You know, we hear a lot about the Glimmerman and some of the abilities that he has. That resembles heavily what the Predator's capable of. That thing alone terrifies me. I shouldn't even be really talking about that, to be honest, right now here, because that's only going to make matters worse. But the Glimmerman, wow, that is a terrifying, terrifying phenomenon. If anyone's new to hearing that word, go research that. And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not talking about the movie that was in, like, I think it was the 80s or the 90s or something like that. I'm talking about the cryptid that is able to camouflage itself and almost take on the resemblance of water to surround and submerge itself with the environment. Is such a creepy new thing.
Feeling incredibly vulnerable in the clearing, surrounded by deep woods, he acknowledged the intense anxiety the situation was provoking.
I'm really freaking out at this point because I'm stood right now in the middle of the arena, literally smack bang, surrounded by broken down cabins and tire walls like this. And I feel very vulnerable because in the center here, the trees open out. So I'm basically stood in the middle of a clearing with deep woods all around me, 360 degrees. Now, if there's anything stood in the wooded area or the wood line.
His exploration concluded abruptly when he thought he heard someone nearby, prompting a hasty retreat.
Right, I'm gonna get out of these woods because I think I've just heard someone talk and that's freaking me out. Lily, come. Lily, come.
Though nothing further was seen or heard, the oppressive feeling of being watched intensified throughout the night. Both Ben and his dog Lily remained uneasy, a testament to the profoundly disturbing atmosphere of the abandoned site. What truly happened at this strange, deserted arena remains a chilling mystery, lost in the heart of a forest already steeped in dark lore. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.